All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WNR Body Transformation Podcast. And it's been a while, but I've decided I'm going to be doing this once every 2 weeks because that's what I can keep up with, right? But I missed you guys, and yeah, if y'all are watching this on YouTube, I'd highly advise you to watch this on YouTube. But if y'all are driving and listening to this, you're probably not going to get much value out of this, because in this podcast I'm going to be showing you all how do I manage my meal prep, right, with whole foods, with less time basically, because I'm running a business, I'm producing content, I'm doing the social media side of things, I'm working in the business, I'm coaching clients, I'm working on the business, producing content, producing these podcasts, educating myself, also training, hitting the gym, etc. So yeah, I mean, it's a full-time job, to be honest, and sometimes you forget to eat your meals, and then when you do forget to eat your meals, and then you probably go like, fuck it, let me just, let me go and eat some shit, right? But this is what I exactly do. But before we move ahead, I just want to mention that whatever mentioned in this podcast is solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not to replace professional advice given to you by a physician. So please don't do anything stupid. Whatever you do, please do it at your own risk. And at the end of the podcast / video, I'm also going to be letting you guys in on my health and fitness update, my nutritional update, my training update, and a little bit of the drug stack as well. So yeah. But before you get cracking, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and let's get started. So what I'm going to be talking, it's going to be like a bit of a casual podcast where I'm just going to be rambling on and explaining things with pictorial demonstrations from photos of my meals, right? So I'm just going to be sipping on a cup of coffee because I'm recording this at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning, right? While you guys might be chilling out. But hey, pressure is a privilege, right? Although I didn't take a shit today morning because the pressure didn't really come from that manner. God damn, this coffee is good. You end up developing a taste for the bitterness of the coffee the more you drink it. This is a mix of strong Filipino coffee and Vietnamese coffee. Fucking beautiful, right? I also like cheap supermarket instant coffee. I like all types of coffee. All types of coffees. We came up to the point in Vietnam where I started drinking too much coffee, like 7 cups of coffee a day, like right before bed, and it was not good for my sleep, but I was still sleeping because my adrenals were fried. But anyways, let's not get off topic. So first things first, the first things first, right? I keep my food super simple, right? Keep more or less the same food sources, alternate between 3 to 4 protein sources pretty much every other day. So one day I might eat chicken. Chicken is a staple, right? Because it's cheap. Eggs is a staple. That's always going to remain. And the next day I might alternate between shrimp or beef liver or lamb liver, whatever's there on offer, because currently I'm running on like a bit of a budget, right? So I keep like 2 to 3 protein sources, and every now and then I might add in like a casein protein source, but I try to limit liquid calories during a cut. I just simply try to limit liquid calories. I'm not really a huge fan of them because they just satisfy my sweet tooth, but they leave me wanting for more. Casein is fine, it's a cheap protein source, but right now things are just slightly getting a bit more a teeny tiny pricey in Dubai, so I'm just currently running in like a bit of a budget, right? Fucking beautiful. So frozen prawns, frozen chicken breast, and yeah, I just chop it and bulk cut it, put it in the fridge for 1 to 2 days, as simple as that, right? And then when I want to like prep my meals, I just chop some tomatoes, I just chop some onions and some peppers or whatever vegetables are there, and put it on a plate, on a steel plate, shove it in the microwave Bam. Simple as that, right? And then put some soy sauce on top of it, some Tabasco, salt, pepper, MSG. I mean, it tastes fucking delicious, right? Because when you've been dieting for like a long period of time, right? Simple foods begin to taste better. Like genuinely simple foods begin to taste better, right? And yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that, right? When it comes to my carb sources, I solely like to keep it potatoes or sweet potatoes because on a cut, I like to stay full. What do is I take like a sharp knife, I poke the potatoes, sweet potatoes with like holes, micro holes, put it in the oven and roast it for as long as possible. Sorry if I said microwave before, I meant oven. Oven is good. You can use an air fryer if you got the luxury for it. I don't have the luxury for it, but oven is good. And 20 minutes, 200 degrees Celsius gets the job done. For roasting potatoes, something like 45 minutes, 180 to 200 degrees Celsius gets the job done. Pretty simple, right? Salt, pepper, you can use soy sauce. Cinnamon is an OG. So yeah, I mean, life is pretty simple. The other one is using a chopper, right? If I'm running low on time, I'm gonna pull in like, I don't like the way beef liver tastes, but when I mash it with a lot of vegetables, when I mash it with a lot of chicken breast and a lot of Indian spices and just cook it on a pan with no oil, it turns out to be like an Indian spicy dish known as keema, and gets the job done. Pretty good for digestion as well when you simply mash your meals, right? But now since I'm deep inside a diet as well, just doing like a bit of a quick mini cut after the holiday, right? And I managed to drop something like 4 kilos. My weight's coming off pretty fast because I've actually been adherent, right? Small nibbles. Every diet that I do has been better and better, basically. But the small nibbles are like close to none. The only thing that I nibble on sometimes is like stevia, just to satisfy my sweet tooth. Got a massive sweet tooth. But that is also something that I'm aware about. So, but anyways, let's not stay off topic, right? What I'm getting at is, yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, mashing the meals, and yeah, that basically is it. I like to keep it super simple foods. When it comes to fruits, 1 to 2 fruits per day. I like to keep it 1 fruit per day because right now I'm in a cut. I like to keep it more vegetables, and towards the end of the day, I like to keep it something like 400 grams of potatoes. More or less stick to the same thing, more or less stick to the same routine, because if you're eating in a routine, you're eating the same foods, you don't want to think, and in and out, bam, 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 right? If I'm craving for something sweet, what do? I use a chopper, cut some carrots, take some skim milk, put in some stevia, put in something like 7 grams of casein, put it in the microwave this time, and that basically is it, right? But this is exactly how I managed to make filling meals in no time. And yeah, stick to the same foods, same routine, and it just takes the thought process out of the picture. Very sparingly, if I haven't prepped my meals, which doesn't really happen much these days, what do is I stop by the petrol pump and I select beef jerky instead of shitty protein bars, because protein bars it's more of like a trigger food, and most of the people eat a protein bar because it tastes like chocolate, not because it's got protein inside it. In case if you look at the back end of a protein bar, the protein to calorie ratio is fucking horrible, right? And they're not even protein bars, they're like high carb and high fat bars, basically. Nothing wrong with carbs and fats, but they're extremely calorie dense. Go and eat a chocolate instead. A chocolate is slightly low in calories than if you select it properly. So I don't eat protein bars, I select beef jerkies, but it's expensive. And if you're going to be eating a beef jerky, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be eating it in your car. You're not going to be eating it when you're present, so that takes the joy out of the process. That takes the joy out, and I like to eat my meals like while I'm being present. The second thing is Greek yogurt, 0-fat Greek yogurt. Yeah, I try to minimize liquid calories, but that's like the second best option after beef jerky from a petrol pump or from a supermarket if you're running low on time. But these are the meals that I advise people to stick to. There's nothing magical about it. They just tend to keep you fuller. They don't require you to think, and you can just prep them in and out like as simple as possible. And yeah, you can use condiments and spices, but just do understand, like, they need to be low in calories. So things like mustard sauce, things like soy sauce, things like Tabasco, barely any calories. Do I track them? Probably no, but am I aware about their calories? Yes. But if I use them in the same quantities every day and not track them, but track my main foods and I'm dropping body fat, that still gives me a consistent reference point against which I make progress from. Same goes with nibbles of the stevia. If I'm nibbling something like 4 to 5 times of stevia a day, right, and I'm dropping body fat at like X number of calories, like, I'm not going to be stressing on it. That doesn't really mean I'm cheating on my diet. You can either track it, you can either not track it. It's as simple as that, right? But this is how I manage my filling meals in no time. The nutrition is fucking crucial. The training is crucial. Sleep is crucial. And the drugs are just a facilitator. That's always what I tell people, right? Bloody beautiful. Beautiful. The other thing, what's been happening lately in Dubai? So gyms have still not filled up lately, and I've got a lot of free time, so I've been producing a lot of content, and I've been focusing on growing the back end of the business, better systems, better content. In case if you look at my social media, etc., there's more content coming out. I've been focusing on bodybuilding as well, just doing the same old thing. I mean, fuck it, I might as well use this free time, right? My tirzepatide dose is up from 3 to 3.5 milligrams. I actually prefer tirzepatide better, even though it doesn't really have the glucagon component which retatrutide has. But I mean, I prefer so much more better. It's reduced the food noise, but psychologically, like, my nutrition is on point. My training is on point. I'm running a deload this week. Now, the way I'm running a deload this week is, instead of simply taking some time off the gym, because if I take some time off the gym, it psychologically tends to affect me. I am just like reducing my training volume by half. So in case if I'm doing something like 2 sets, I'm just doing like 1 set. That's it. Because if I'm still inside the gym, it just gives me like, I'm still doing something. I'm still showing up. I'm still in that routine, basically, right? So I've tried both methods, but you need to pick something that works for you. L-carnitine is at 300 milligrams. Clen is at 60 micrograms. Like, I'm not trying to over-optimize things. I'm just trying to keep it super, super basic. The only thing that I tried and tested on myself was this peptide known as SS31. And the first few days I felt like, very stimulated. But right now it's all good. But right now I'm not trying to over-optimize things, right? I've accepted the fact that, like, the suck of the process is going to be there, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying it because, like, psychologically I've changed my mindset from the fact, like, I get to do this. Suffering is an option. The process is painful. It is painful. But I mean, if you're going through the pain of the process, why would you piss and moan and put yourself through more psychological stress and suffer more, right? Enjoy the process. In fact, the thing that I always remind myself, I use this as a bit of an opportunity to be a bit more spiritual. I go out of my way to be nicer to people. I go out of my way to keep myself busy, be very productive. Also enjoy some coffee, because every prep that I've done, I've taken those practices in my life, basically. This is not really a hardcore bodybuilding prep and all of that. But yeah, how you look at things mainly comes down to you, right? That basically is it. I've just kept it more old school this time. Instead of retatrutide and being a peptide goblin, I'm like, alright, let's probably add in some clen, right? Alright, let's probably not overdo the cardio. Let's be a bit more consistent, Let's probably do any of that, and let's probably stay calm throughout the process. Let's not abuse the caffeine. Let's sit through the hunger. And the other thing that's been devastatingly effective is investing in your mindset, investing in your mental health. And by this I mean simply reading a self-help book and understanding how the human mind and the human conditioning works, taking some of those practices, incorporating it, spirituality. Like it fucking works. Like it fucking works. So reading like a bit of a self-help book before bed, right, to invest in your mental health so that the physical side of things does function. Because if this is not working properly, your physique is, you're not going to be able to do the process, because the process is very, very hard. So lately I've been reading Sadhguru's Karmic, a yogi's guide to inner karmic. I forgot the name of the book, but I'm reading something and it's helping me with my sleep. I've also limited my caffeine intake. Saying this while I'm drinking a cup of coffee, to something like 300 milligrams a day, 300 to 350. Previously I would have something like, fine, it's 600. But everybody goes through this. That basically is it. And my physique actually looks better. I'm just gonna post some pictures right here. But yeah, the drops have actually been far more consistent. The only thing that's being affected is the digestion, but the digestion is not affected like the way it was affected in the previous preps. What I'm doing is I'm chewing my foods well. Oh yes, I've also limited the amount of diet sodas, right? Previous preps I would have something like 7 to 10 a day. Right now it's more of like 3 to 4 a day. Right? That's basically it. So yeah, like I'm enjoying it. Right? It is painful, but I'm enjoying it, and always remind myself, like, at the end of the day, I get to do this. It is a luxury. So yeah, people, if you found this useful, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and have a nice one, right? Spread some positivity, right? It's a tough time in the world. Towards keeping us super safe, but spread some positivity. And if you're interested in coaching, if you want to transform your body, if you want to drop fat, build muscle, build a physique that you're proud of, all you need to do is fill in the application form below. Feel free to look at the results on my Instagram, and have a nice one. Ciao.